So they said, well, what type of car was it? They gave him a description of the car. They said, well, who be in the car? They told him who they thought the car belonged to. They asked, well, who be with that guy? He said, well, a guy named Butter. Oh, shit, that was Butter. And it was on and running. I became the main suspect in the homicide. I had no knowledge of. I was nowhere around. I didn't know the victim. I just know that I didn't do anything, you know. Like I tell people all the time, man, don't go to the police station. I was at work. I deliver oxygen tanks. I'm working 9 to 5, bro. I deliver oxygen tanks. My mother called me at work and said that I had to go to the police station. I didn't ask no questions. I ain't involved in nothing to ask no questions. Really ain't no big thing. Okay, mama. I drove down there and it took me 27 years to drive away. What up, though? Larry Darnell Smith Jr., AHumbleSoul podcast. I'm grateful for being here. Free the innocent, free the medically frail, free the oversensed, coming live and direct out of Southwest Detroit. Prison shouldn't be a big business and shouldn't have all those extra adjectives like dying there. 10 toes down, salute.
AHumbleSoul, we checking back in, man. Live from Detroit right now. We got a brother in front of the camera who went through a challenging experience at one point in his life. Was wrongfully convicted and spent over a quarter century incarcerated before he was freed. He was exonerated after he was locked up for something he didn't do. Larry Smith, what's going on with you, bro? Appreciate you chopping up with AHumbleSoul.
What up, though? Larry Darnell Smith Jr. I spent 26 years, 10 months and 7 days in prison for a crime I did not commit. For all practical purposes, 27 years.
27 years, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, to get into your life story, man, but before you went through that traumatic experience, like, what was it like coming up in Detroit? You know, born and raised in the city? Yeah,
for sure. From Detroit. My mom and dad went off to the military. Mom went off with them. And whenever we made it back, and we've been here ever since. And it's been cool. Detroit is the best. I prayed every day to get back to the D.
Can you just take us back to life in Detroit before that crazy experience happened, man?
Well, at the time it happened, life was good. I was working, delivering oxygen tanks, going to school, about to graduate. Had plans and dreams and aspirations of being a respiratory therapist. Life was good. I can't complain. It was easy. Yeah.
So you weren't actually like into anything crazy prior to that situation?
No, not like that. I mean, nothing that nobody can say that they ever seen me do, because I ain't did that. You know what I mean? I was just cool, calm, and collected, more or less. Went to school, knew a lot of people, fought in the community, same community we in right now, one I was raised in, one I was respected in then, I respected it now. And I just appreciate the value of being returned back to my society, you know?
No, for sure. So let them know, for the people not familiar with Detroit or your story, like, so where are we at right now? What section did you come up in?
Oh, we in Southwest Detroit. Yeah, we definitely in Southwest Detroit, in the hood. We off basically Visitor Road. You ever heard these stories? Big as Visitor Road, Annabelle. I'm from down the street from Big Meech, you know. Matter of fact, they put their equipment up here when they do the BMF. Yeah, when they shoot that series. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's where we at. We in that neighborhood, right around the corner.
Oh, that's crazy.
Grew up at. Yeah.
Man, did you have any interactions or ties, experiences with anybody that's linked to BMF?
Yeah, I got friends. I grew up with, but they was 50 boys when I was growing up. Oh. There wasn't no BMF. I heard of that after I was incarcerated. All that stuff blew up. I got locked up February 4th. I came home February 4th, 2021. Yes, sir. I got locked up March 24th, 1994. So at that time, you know, it was 50 boys. In the trips to Atlanta, I was going to school. I guess you want to say I had a bad day. This one long 27 years, and then this one great day happened. I was released.
Man, prior to that, did you have any family members or friends who had went through a similar situation as you, that you ended up getting, you know, caught up in? Yeah,
I mean, I got an uncle who incarcerated from this community. Out of this community, been locked up like 40 years. Wayne Duff, 1644-98. And I mean, it's a lot of things that go around about why he's incarcerated, where, you know, you can't prove he actually committed a crime, but at this point he's been incarcerated like 40 years. So, you know, it make you say, like, when is enough enough? I mean, 40 years, 50 years, like at what point do you say, okay, a person can return to society and be productive? And what measure do you use? And me, I'm like, man, look, at this point, you've been down there so long, medically frail, went through cancer, all of these different ailments. It's like, you should just get a free shot. And what I mean by a free shot is an opportunity out here in the street to be a free man, to be able to get some of that information and some of that education that you've experienced throughout that place to your community and your loved ones.
Right.
Be able to come back and get back.
Man, 40 years, and you said his sentence, he's sentenced to
natural life. Natural life.
No opportunity for parole.
No. And see, like in Michigan, right, we have, they pushing for what's called second look legislation. Not only in Michigan, but other states, where to give a person an opportunity, you know, after 10 years, if you go through various training. See, you know, they say that the science is that you don't mature fully till you're 26 years old. So a lot of those people that's incarcerated at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, you know, what's going to afford them not to just spend 40, 50 years and their life go to waste. So that's, you know, something I was pushing for when I first got out of prison, and I still push for, advocate for it. You know, I'm hopeful for that they would pass it to give people like him another opportunity, because you got guys that have been in prison 40 years with one misconduct ticket, or 40 years with no misconduct tickets, meaning that they successfully been navigating the institutional system. How you make it, whatever the case might be, what do you use for the guard to say, okay, this person been rehabilitated and another opportunity should be presented to them? You know, so that's what the second look legislation whole mantra is about, and that's what I represent, second look, because if didn't nobody give me a second chance, I would have died in prison for a crime I didn't commit. You know, so first I'm a returning citizen. You know, then I'm an exoneree, because that means I was locked up for a crime I didn't commit. Right. You know, but I'm still a returning citizen because I went through all the same stuff and torment and torture that those other people went through, from the strip searches to people touching you inappropriately to like just the overall structure of incarceration with no rehabilitation. So being a person who went through that, right, and other people going through that currently, I advocate on behalf of them type of people. Wow. You know, I believe that the energy that we put out, right, might not be reciprocated by everybody. But if you can get up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror and smile and be proud that you did something, you handled your business, then hey man, can't nobody take that from you.
Man, that's real talk. Words of wisdom, man. I hope people who view this take that and apply it, man, if they're not already viewing themselves in that light. It's dope to hear what you're doing, man, since you've been freed. So for the people who aren't familiar with your story and what you went through, like, can you take us back to just the situation that led to you being, you know, locked up that day?
You know what's crazy is, I worked a job, like, when people talk that 9 to 5, if you work narrow, you stay out the way, you won't have no issue. In my life, I did that, and some type of way I still got my name came up in something that had nothing to do with me. And it wasn't even about like who done it. They wasn't looking to solve that aspect of it. They was just looking to close something. And they was able to use it closing me. You know, somebody said that somebody say that they saw, and somebody said that somebody walked like. You understand? Somebody said they seen somebody else's car. Everything is somebody else's. And then it was, who be with that person? Oh, a guy named Butter. And then it became, oh, it was Butter. So it allowed the police and they thing to create and do what they needed to do in order to get a conviction, because they didn't go out and they didn't canvass the area. Like, they had 4 or 5 different alternative suspects, people who actually wanted this person, something to happen to this person. Well, you had a guy who was going to school, interact well in the community. I ain't in that lifestyle with these people. So that's not I shouldn't even be brought down. What's the purpose? What's the purpose, you know? So
not to cut you off, so what did your name, like, what exactly happened though? What was the crime?
Oh man, murder. Oh yeah, so yes sir. Right in this community, someone got killed, you know, and they alleged that the person who they didn't see the face of, a person who they did not know, done it, and they alleged I walked like the person at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And they used the determination based on somebody saying that they seen a car. So they said, well, what type of car was it? They gave him a description of the car. They said, well, who be in the car? They told him who they thought the car belonged to. They asked, well, who be with that guy? He said, well, a guy named Butter. Oh, shit, that was Butter. And it was on and running. I became the main suspect in the homicide I had no knowledge of. I was nowhere around.
So they tied you to the person who they thought committed the crime. Then they said that you did it. But did you actually know the victim too?
No, I never met him. I didn't know him. I didn't know the victim. I just know that I didn't do anything, you know. So when they started talking about it, cause like I tell people all the time, man, don't go to the police station. I was at work. I deliver oxygen tanks. I'm working 9 to 5, bro. I deliver oxygen tank. My mother called me at work and said that I had to go to the police station. I didn't ask no questions. I ain't involved in nothing to ask no questions. Really ain't no big thing. Okay, mama. I drove down there and it took me 27 years to drive away. Yeah, it took me 27 years to drive away. So I imagine how my mother felt, knowing like she raised me to say that these people, we call the law enforcement agencies, is good people. But in reality, the thing that she taught me, them people was bad people. You know, and they did something bad.
What were you thinking on that drive to the police station?
Man, I was listening to E40 or something like that. Listening to Captain Saber. Oh man, no, I ain't joking, bro. I ain't really thinking like I'm driving to 27 years in prison, bro. I ain't did nothing. You feel where I'm coming from? Like I done had a car on the street to get hit, sitting out on the street, person swerved, hit the car. You know, I got stuff going on where a police could ask you a question, but nothing going on where the police can ask you a question, hold you, arraign you, send you through this whole process, and then you be off on your way. Like nothing as such. I didn't have that.
So you make it to the police station after you talk to your mom. What happens from there when you actually enter the police station? How does everything pan out?
All bad, because I'm saying, like, I don't know anything about what y'all alleging. Like, I've not done anything. I've been at work. And it's more with them is, yes, you do, yes, you did. And they tell me about things in life I never experienced again. Normal stuff like relationships with women, you know, the whole aspect of the prom. Like these things, they telling me I ain't gonna never see them. Don't you like women? You know, let us know what we need to know. Say yourself, you know, and I hear a lot of people talking about how they ain't no rats and all this type of stuff, right? But what I found out about a lot of these people in prison was you never know what they is until they face with it, until they put under the gun, right? So I'm proud of myself. Like I ain't no rat. Like I never been with no dudes on no levels, no disrespect to nobody, got nothing going on. And I never been on no medication psychotropically prescribed, you know, by the state. Feel me? Like I ain't went on Medline, I went on Hell Dog. I had to take that whole experience face head on. Every day of it, bro. On the chin. Like I ain't getting no breaks. Wasn't no, I catch you later on, let me give you a break, I'm gonna get back with you. It was full press every day.
And before you even get to the actual prison experience, you made a point. You said that when you went down there and they were questioning you, it was just you. You didn't think that, you didn't know to get like an attorney or anything.
Oh no, bro, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I asked for a lawyer. Yeah, I asked for a lawyer, bro. They turned the lawyer away. My mother sent the lawyer to the police station. I asked for an attorney, man. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that they tell you to do everything that you're supposed to do. I did it. I'm the guy. You go in there and you be quiet. First, you go in there, right? You thinking you're young, right? You down here. You haven't done anything. When they pose the questions to you, right? And they start, wait, what do you know about X, Y, and Z? Well, the reality is you think of everything you thought on TV. Versus, after I tell you, I worked the work, I haven't done anything, what's left for me to say? I want a lawyer. I don't know nothing.
Right.
Anybody own the business, I asked for a lawyer for a couple of days. Lawyer came, my mother retained, they sent the lawyer home. Yeah, sent the lawyer home. And ultimately, a guy would say that I confessed to him while I was in the jail.
And that's not true.
No, not at all. Not at all. And later on, he would come to say that he was being dishonest on behalf of their prompting, because he had been working as an agent for them for quite some time. And that he had other people that he had done this with. Charles Wilson, so let's get to the business. Charles Wilson, he's incarcerated. He's serving a natural life. Matter of fact, a second-degree sentence, which is natural life. Why? Because they ain't paroled him. Why? He been locked up 40 years. So to me, second degree, first degree life, life is life is life. If you serving and they ain't letting you go. Same guy testified against me. testified against him. So the same guy testified against me, testified against him like 11 years before he testified against me. And keep this in mind, when he testified against me, he said he never did nothing like this before. He had no police contact, no relationship, none of the such. Prosecutors say he's never met nobody like this man before. So now, by this man's own admission, he was trained and he worked with them people, the police. He was trained and he worked with the prosecutors. So I asked Wayne County Prosecutor Office, why is it that Charles Wilson not released? Conviction Integrity Unit can work. Why is Charles Wilson not released? Same man testified against me, testified against him. He's in there, they got the wrong guy under the wrong name, so the social security numbers don't match. You know you got the wrong person. So now again, back to it, right? We live our life, we go through hell on earth, right? For what reason? My reason is to tell them that it's somebody else that's locked up for crimes they didn't commit. Other people that's old as heck, and they could be productive citizens as far as at least being role models and good words. Because these same type of people who helped to elevate me when I was a young person growing up in hell on earth. So, though I think some of those people should have a second opportunity, a chance, so I be that voice. And people who got, I knew one guy got 8 years for snatching a purse. I knew another guy got 40 years for snatching the purse. Snatch the purse, snatch the purse. Both is bad. But why do one person get 8 years and why do one person get 40 years?
Is it based behind their criminal record though? Like
well, in this instance, they both, I had no crimes previously.
That's crazy.
Yeah, neither one of them had crimes previously, right?
Was one black and one different race?
Yeah, that did happen in that fashion, right? So I did see a person get 8 years and another person get 40 years for the same crime. Because armed robbery is a floater. You feel me? The only difference between armed robbery, like a screwdriver, I know people did 25, 30 years for having a screwdriver in their pocket.
That's crazy. Not
for brandishing the screwdriver, not for swinging the screwdriver, not for having it in their possession. And the commission of telling somebody whatever they told them.
Oh, they threatened.
Absolutely. But I get like, crime is bad. It's all bad, right? But you know what I found out that it's really bad. It's really, really bad when it affects you, right? But when just your family, and your family that committed crimes against somebody else, we be coming up with excuses to why they need a second chance. And with me, it's like, you know what I'm saying, down the middle, I got to be fair and balanced on both ends.
Yeah. Man, and saying that, so after they deny you the lawyer, you in jail, was this your first time like going through that, like being locked up?
Yeah, like I had never really been through nothing like that before, bro. You know, like when you growing up, you had that brush in and people run from the police, you know, neighborhood type of stuff. But down here, and I'm down here and I'm in custody and they got me in this wooden room sitting down here for hours. And they got me up here in this slab, in this holding cell, and I can't sleep. You know, people coming to me trying to pry me for information about something that I know nothing about. You know, no, that was my first time going through something like that. But I knew that I hadn't done nothing. So what is it for me to say? I don't know nothing. What can I say? I don't know nothing. And that experience.
And evidently, I mean, on the outside looking in, it sounds like the person who they linked you to never came forward.
Who? Oh, he got locked up as well. He served 4 months.
He served 4 months?
Yeah, he did 4 months and his case was dismissed. No, they said that he couldn't be identified based on the card. See, remember, I was identified on his card.
And you said in a walk or something like that?
Yes, my walk was based on his card. So if they never see the card, they can never say that it was a walk. All the inferences that they made that the police is alleging, because we keep in mind, these is all alleged, all police, like all this information is popo. You know what I mean? So what is to say that they're gonna tell the truth? They didn't lie on me and put me in prison. They didn't reward the people that's involved in it. But this is what they allege that they use to get to why they put me doing what they doing to me.
So what do you decide to do? Obviously you didn't plead out, you took it to trial.
Yes.
How long was the trial? How did that whole process pan out?
3 days.
They convicted you in 3 days?
In 3 days, melted me, man. And like, so,
damn.
The guy who testified against me, he had involvement in the system before, so he knew just how to go about it, like he had did it before. So communicating to the jury, persuading the judge, like hit all the mannerism of somebody who would be believable, but he really out hurting somebody. You know, and like he been weaponized by them. He been given the information by them.
Yeah.
So me, like, I don't have my defense. I didn't do nothing. I don't know nothing. I was at home. But you got other people with information about just something, even if it ain't accurate, it's something, and it's enough for the police to use and the prosecutors to use to put me in prison.
No DNA, nothing.
No, bro.
Just all hearsay.
All hearsay.
That's crazy. And they was able to, so it sounds like your lawyer didn't do a good, well, they was already bent on getting you convicted for the crime.
Yeah, but no, like the lawyer, the prosecutor, both of them the prosecutor was in on it. So I don't know if the lawyer was in on it or not. Right. I know he didn't do the best job. He didn't do a job that I would have did it if I represented him, or I believe that I would have did if I represented him.
And how old are you at the time?
18 going to 19.
So what is the judge, what goes through your mind when the judge sentenced you to life?
I couldn't believe it. Like, I remember when the jury came back and found me guilty, asking him what they say. You know, asking my attorney, him pushing back though. Like from the table, him feeling like I'm finna do something to him maybe, and he want to get his distance, but I'm just asking because I'm in shock, like I can't believe it. Because one, I ain't did nothing to nobody. Like no matter what then took place right here, if this man is believable up here to y'all, then shame on y'all, because I'm telling y'all he's lying and this didn't happen. I ain't confessed to him. I ain't confessed to no police. See, the police said I made a statement. They said I didn't read it, I didn't write it, and I didn't sign it.
Man.
Huh? I made a statement. Did you make a statement? Because if I didn't read it and I didn't write it and I didn't sign it, and you saying you misplaced it in somebody else's file for 5 or 6 months, and then you allege to find it later on at the exact same time when this guy is saying that I confessed to him in the jail, and they go in lockstep with each other. It's all part of the play. It's all part of the plan. And see why I was locked up, bro? Was even the worstest part, right? Let's get to worse. They put out memorandums. They put out memorandums. The prosecutor office, bro. They put out memos describing a behavior which was being exhibited by the Detroit police, something that they was doing that the prosecutor office did not like. They was against it vehemently, but some of their prosecutors had been down what was taking place with the Detroit police. And they said that if these guys, these jailhouse snitches, had really gave testimony and it was false, then it was a federal violation and we was entitled to automatic reversals, prompt reversals. You don't hear about documents that read this way, that's put out by a prosecutor's office. So what they did not do was, and his words was to watch out for these cases when they come across their desk, where they had jailhouse snitches. They'd be highly scrutinized. Well, my appeal came right across their desk and they did nothing. They do nothing. They just left me in there. They just left me in there. You know.
Man, did they ever offer you a plea deal?
A plea deal, yeah, early on, yeah, they was talking some years or something, 20 years.
20 years?
Some they offered me like that, yeah, they offered me, they maybe even offered me less than that at a point. But it was like, bro, I ain't did nothing. You know, me and my mama, we sat down, we talked about it. She said, Mama, I ain't did nothing to nobody. You know, she said, baby, you gotta, I'm with you. Like, shit, we rode it. We rode it. You know, I wasn't going there and say I did nothing I ain't do, bro. I ain't do nothing to nobody. Feel me? Like I say, man, my mama, she was with me then, and like she with me now, and like we went up against the whole system, and it just took us 27 years to come out on top.
Man, how was your experience in prison? Like with you not having exposure to that type of life, you say you had a 9 to 5, you just got thrown into some BS, and unfortunately, they decide to convict you. You know what I'm saying? So your life changes, and this is a whole new world. Like, what was that like, man, getting adjusted to that new reality?
All right, so growing up, man, I went to a lot of these high schools over here and throughout the city. Adjusting was hard, absolutely. But when I got to prison, I went to this school called Redford. I went to this school called Henry Ford. I went to this school called Cooley. I went to Southwestern. I went to St. Hedwig. Like, I went to these different schools that was in the city. So when I got to prison,
right,
for each one of them schools and from each one of these neighborhoods that I had been in on the east side.
You knew people?
I knew people. And like the reality was, right, in every community, in every neighborhood across the country, it's that tough dude, right? You got a tough dude in every neighborhood, bro. Like, you can't beat that dog, got hands. You hear about it, oh dog, he the one, he be woo woo woo. But when you get to prison, you got a whole bunch of them. So you got to figure out probably another way to be able to maneuver and groove. You know, 'cause for me, I was a light-skinned guy. You punch me, I bruise these. I can't take too many punches. You know what I mean? I remember trading my gold chain, man, for 2 things. You know what I mean? Like, and my man put me up on the game, though. My man put me up on the game. He like, shit, bro, you can take that chain and get a knife. Huh? I can get what? That chain? Yeah, I think I'm gonna swap that out. You know what I'm saying? And that was that reality. And that was that reality when you wake up, when you go to sleep. Like my second day in prison, bro, I walked in the shower and the guy was getting his buns run. Horribly, like, I wouldn't remember sitting on the side of the bunk. I can call a couple guys who was there, bro. Like, when they seen me sitting on the bunk, like, man, what's wrong with dog? They walk around and they see my shower stuff. Then they look like, oh, he ain't know. You feel me? Didn't nobody tell me don't go down there then. That boy be down there on that type of time. So I had been seeing something with scarred and just had to go on with my day. And then it was just like coming normal. You look straight. You don't look in nobody else's cell. You know, you keep to the letter. You move your groove. 8 months in, they killed a guy named Bill, bro. Stabbed him over his own money. See, I knew that a lot of stuff was real then. Because see, anybody just couldn't go to the store back then. And some people just didn't want to go to the store. So they paid people to go to the store. You know, I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna lie to you. I could go to the store and the guy gonna pay me $10, $15. Go give me $5 token and give me something to smoke, man, let's run. And when I seen them take dog life about his money, I knew then, like, I knew it was serious. Don't get me wrong, I'm not, like, I had fights, but lots of fights. Like, I know that part was serious, but when I seen somebody lose their life, dog, over what was theirs, then at that moment, it was a whole nother level of it. Because yeah, I can get up, I can go to sleep, I can go to the library, right? But on Thursday though, I could get up and go through that. I can bump dog, and then dog and them can get up on something before me, and then where we at with it, you know? So yeah, that was 8 months in, and it ain't do nothing but get a little bit more rocky before it got better.
Wait, so were you based in, did you do your time in Michigan?
Yeah, I was in Michigan, all across Michigan.
Yeah. So how many different prisons were you moved to throughout your bid?
So from actual physical prisons to prisons, like 31 or 32.
31?
Yeah, but inside the prison, you know, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling inside the actual institutions, because you know, they take you to level 4 custody level, you do so much time. They take you down to level 2. You move back and forth. Back then we had level 3s, so you moving back, you in the hole, you know, you back into level 4, or you work your way back down. And sometimes I might be at a prison for 4 months, maybe a month and a half. I've been at some I've been at 3 years. You know, I think as long as I made it was like 3 years. Longest I ever made a ticket free was almost 3 years. Yeah, that's the longest I ever made a ticket free. Like I was trying, because I wanted to see what it was like when people was telling me about how they was ticket free. So I was trying, and you know, but.
So were you, once you got into that life, were you a hothead to a certain extent? I know you mentioned like getting into different altercations. Did you have like a point to prove or something? Point
to prove? No, we sweet, bro. It's 244. Point to prove? No, it ain't about a point to prove. Shit, you gotta survive. This the reality, right? This is my reality anyway. It took a minute for me to accept the fact that I could possibly die in prison for a crime I didn't commit. But that took a minute, because it was always, yeah, they gonna disappeal, 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 disappeal. And then one day, I said, damn, dog, you got a lot of appealing going on.
Yeah.
And you ain't getting nowhere, bro. You know? And a partner of mine told me this one day. I used to be walking the child, kicking with these different guys. And he was like, man, you know what's gonna happen? I said, man, what's gonna happen? He said, man, you're gonna wake up 20 years from now and it's gonna be like your first day. He said, you went around here, you walking the child, you talking to these Twinkie dudes. He said, man, these niggas reindeers. He's saying, guess what? They're going to frolic and they're going to play. And then 20 years from now, they're going to get forced out of here. And 20 years from now, it's going to be like your first day. I think this stuff dog saying makes sense. You hear me? So I walked the child, I'm like, yeah, man, what y'all boys got up? Man, like, man, when you out date? When you out date? When you out date? When you out date? And when they asked me what's my out date, man, I got natural life. I'm the only guy with natural life. So at that moment, it was like, okay, all right, all these boys going home. I got to figure out how I'm going to go home too.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, you got to groove, dog. If you in that money, you ain't grooving, you ain't got no store, you ain't got no bunch of people looking out for you, because it wasn't nearly as expensive then as it is now. Back then, bro, you get a tuna fish about 79, 80 cents. Tuna fish now like $4.54. Mayonnaise about $7, $8 right now. See? So for a lot of them people, having that experience, I was having that experience with them. You know, 'cause my phone pop all day. They call me all day, all day, all day.
Yeah.
My peoples. I feel them.
Was there ever a point where you accepted it?
Accepted it?
Not necessarily. I know you said you thought about like, dang, I may one day actually die in here, but actually accepted like, I'm gonna just stop fighting.
No, not on time like that. No, hell no, cause shit. If you get socked, you get punched, you get hit, right? If you don't get back up, bro, or figure out how to duck the blow, then that's gonna be on you. Can't blame that on nobody else. So with me, like getting hit by the system, I had to figure out a way to make the system work. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, live every day to the fullest. I used to tell, man, I got guys there tell you, I used to tell them all the time, man. They be like, man, X, Y, and Z. I said, yeah, we live in a movie. Because I knew we was making a movie. I was in prison for something I ain't do. We in this mother handling a heck of a contraband, bro. Like, we figuring it out. We paying bills. We taking care of lawyers. We looking out for each other. You hear me? Like, we doing what we do. And when people see this, they don't know I ain't lying. There's some people out here that's really making serious moves out here in society. And we was in that place together. And they gonna say, oh, dog, he ain't lying. He ain't lying. Like,
yeah. So how did it get to the point where, I mean, obviously you free now, you had natural life after serving, you said pretty much 27 years.
Yeah.
Like, how did it get up to that point?
oh, how did somebody find out that I existed? From screaming, bro. Like, so one day, man, I was
He said,
I was at this prison called the Pier, right? I rolled in, man, and this dude named, it was either Cardinal or Darnell Bates, two twins. One of them was like, man, Butter, oh, I've been looking for you. And like, his people had monies, they owned a black-owned funeral home. And he got these weird mannerisms, like, so he go to his file folder, and he pull out a piece of paper. And he give me the paper, and it was a story wrote on the internet by a dude by the name of Lucino Hamilton. And with Lucino Hamilton, I found out that he was locked up just like me. And the same thing that happened to him had happened to me. So through other research, guess what I started finding out? That it was other people like us. So once I found out Bernard Howard existed, Ramon Ward existed, and then it gave me a measuring stone, a barometer to be like, hey y'all, look, I ain't do nothing. And these guys ain't do nothing either. They are part of the same thing that's crapped us out, right? So back to it, I'm writing letters to any and everybody that I can, anybody and everybody that I can. And I had did a guy a favor, and be put on the floor. I gave a guy a brief, right? So I gave a guy a brief. This brief cost me a lot of money, bro. I'm telling you, I wasn't faking in there, dog. I was doing some stuff all across the state, man. And everywhere they sent me, I did it. And it was more or less like, I got to figure out how to get up out of here and take money, because that's all people always tell you. Man, you need money. Man, you need money. Now keep in mind, I'm a guy telling them, like, you need connections. You need friends. You need to build relationships, right? But in my head, I'm getting money, though. You understand? So I can tell them you don't need money. They don't know, because they don't know, because some things you got to keep it. It's all close to the chest. So when we talk about, man, you need money, and I'm like, man, shoot, I'm getting money. You need more than money, bro. You need connections. You need relationships. You need people on the front line. You need people to go out there and get active and get out and get yours for you when you can't get out there and get it for yourself. You understand? So I wrote this lady named Claudia Whitman from NCAN. She wrote me back like, well, I got other cases like this. And what I was saying was I had gave this guy my brief, bro. I got a crime lab issue. And the issue was about, okay, so anyway, they said they found a spent shell casing in my mother's home. They said they found 2 spent shell casings at, just down by the scene. But none of it matched the deceased. So how did it get in the house if it had nothing to do with it?
I humbly ask Governor Gretchen Whitman to use her clemency power to release the above-mentioned men along with other elderly, sick, and vulnerable incarcerated individuals like Leonard Bradford Bay, 68, 46 years served, innocent, with diabetes, cancer, and serious respiratory issues. Wayne Duff, 68, 36 years served, innocent with cancer. Robert Partee, 81, 41 years served, with prostate cancer, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, and 85% left anterior descending artery, and diabetic. Ricardo Farrell, 63, 40 years served, with thyroiditis and enlarged prostate. Warren Dawson, 76, 34 years served, with hypertension, chronic ischemic, heart disease, hyperlipidemia, enlarged prostate. David Wakefield, 56, 34 years served, stage 4 cancer and bone cancer. Dwayne Harris, 72, 47 years served. Charlie Wilson, 58, 38 years served, first victim of Edward Allen, who was used by police to testify falsely. Reginald Bell, 53, 32 years served, with 16 years misconduct free.
When I first came home, you know, after I was on TV, did you watch that interview? So like, what really shocked me is people never really ask what happened to those people who the names that I said. Because if anybody just listened to what I'm saying, like I'm saying the names of people who, okay, all right, we got the innocent part of it. But now I'm telling you about people with health conditions that far exceed the normal life expectancy. What I mean by that is, okay, if you had surgery, you died, right? You got cancer that's so severe that just throughout the process, you died, right? Now, what happened with them people that's incarcerated that really at the point of where the only thing left for them is death? Like, why would I come on out of prison and get on TV and just say these people's names? Nobody never just looked into the names themselves of the people that I said or why. So, you know, I'm just hopeful that somebody probably will, and as they do, maybe just look into them stories, like Garwood Turner. This man had 47 years served on a second-degree life, parolable life, 47 years. No misconduct tickets for quite some time. Old white dude, man. I was his aide. I caught COVID. I caught COVID while I was his aide. They told me I didn't have COVID. First they told me I had COVID. They kept me housed with everybody else who had COVID. Came back 4 hours later, told me they made a mistake. I did not have COVID, that they had to move me over to a quarantine area. 2 days later, they came back and told me I did have COVID. About a day or so later, they moved me back over there to where Mr. Turner was. I came into the unit, I remember, I was looking for him. They said they hadn't seen him. So I went up there looking for him in his cell. I seen him laying in there. I seen that they had styrofoam trays that was around, that, you know, food that hadn't been eaten. This lady, I think she was making a round. So I told her, I said, hey, y'all pass out the food, I got these trays, can I make sure that Mr. Turner, he eat? She said, well, I ain't gonna open the door today, but if I come tomorrow and he haven't eaten, then I'll do that. I say, well, could you log that in the book that I asked you about us going and making sure that he eat? And she logged it in the book, bro, like more or less. And then the next day, a guy by the name of Rudy Gamo, me and Rudy Gamo, we ended up having to get the nurse, and then ended up getting them. They took Mr. Turner out the unit. About, I don't know if it was 2 weeks, bro. We found out he had died, and then they called his name over the PA to see the parole board. So like all the same day. You feel me? Like all the same day, you know. And they did a story on me called I Should Be Going Home Soon, me, Bernard Howard, and some other people. And it was about COVID in prison, and it was about us telling about the conditions. Because at one point, bro, check this out. Nobody had COVID on the whole compound. They put out a memo denying us the access to bleach. They said that we had to use the bleach under particular, they told us, the guards, to stop giving us raw bleach, stop giving it to us. 17 days later, the whole compound had COVID. Everybody. Could have been a coincidence. Right? But nobody asked about them people, man, that's in there. One of the guys about to come home about a month and a half, Ricardo Farrell. He a journalist. He journaled for the Voice of Detroit and other publications. He about to come home. So hopefully these guys will just come out and just let the world know some of these things that we experience and why it's so important and why I advocate the way I do on behalf of the innocent, the medically frail, and overset. So anyway, when I came home, bro, after I said the stuff on TV, then I got with some guys, right, and we formed like, I want to say like a super group, right?
I don't think you finished saying how you came home though. You said you had sent some letters out and all of that.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. Oh my bad, bro. So how I came home. I wrote a lot of people, man, and this lady out of Colorado, she ended up looking into it. So through her, she researched and she found out, you know, not it wasn't just me, it was other people as well. Mm-hmm. They opened up what's called a conviction integrity unit in Detroit. Mm-hmm. Well, I have been denied multiple times, bro. Like every time you file something, you get somewhere you think, they slap you down. They slap you down. So they opened what's called a conviction integrity unit. The conviction integrity unit, their job is to independently review the cases, but not from the eyesight of that the prosecutor's trying to convict you, but how the case might be unraveled, right? So boom, person might be innocent. So conviction integrity unit, they get the case. Now through that, my mom, she going to what's called town hall meetings. Mm-hmm. Going down there, Kim Worthy's town hall meetings was our prosecutor. So she going out there, putting on the floor, hey, my son innocent. My son innocent. This lady from Colorado, she coming in, she saying, hey, I got these innocent men, I got these innocent men. Mm-hmm. And one day, I guess they heard it. They let the first guy go, and then COVID kicked in. So I had to wait like a whole another year before I seen the second guy go.
So this was 2020?
Yeah, 2020. So I seen the guy go home in 2020, and as 2020 is going on, then they sent another guy home, because they sent him home in March. Then they sent another guy home and near the end of the year. And
by that time, you had served 25, 24 years?
I had served like 25 years and some change. Yeah. As I was seeing that stuff play out. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on one second, please. So, and you should ask how I came home. So, it then became a process of, I guess, them communicating, because the evidence was already there. That I didn't do anything. Like, it was all inside of the documents. That they had the wrong person. And it was other people that they should have been going after, but they just didn't. Like I say, bro, I can't tell you how I came home other than by the grace of the Creator. You know, I would like to say it was my hard work that I did on the yard fighting. Like to say it was my mom going down there and them advocating on my behalf. Claudia Whitman, my attorney Mary Owens. Like, I like to say it was any of them, but ultimately it had to be some higher power, the Creator. You know, blessed me with the opportunity to be out here doing this.
Man, so how has life been for you, or how challenging was it for you to get readjusted to the free world after serving, you know, almost 3 decades?
I'm doing it now. Like 30 months ago, they didn't think I'd be coming home. So I'm doing it right now, bro. And when I first came home, I was really screwed up. Like, I could not miss a call from somebody from prison. I put 35,000 miles on a brand new Benz, bro. Traveling across, just going, I became a notary. Started going out with U of M, getting affidavits, going to talk to professionals as far as forensic, pathologists, just if you name it, where it came to something that I could personally do, and they called me and it was legal and it would help them get their freedom, I was with it, man. Mama's calling me 4 o'clock in the morning, like whatever it was, and it just helped me to get a peace of mind to know that I used to sit in these rooms for this Lifers, National Lifers Association, and I'm the ambassador, right? Now, but I used to sit in the room and wonder, is anybody out there really caring? Like, is anybody out there really fighting for us? Like, is we just sitting in this room and we in here and Like, is anybody out there? Nah, I'm that somebody, flat out. You know, like when I first came home, I used to be with other exonerees consistently because I wanted us to form us and us to be free sustaining away from, like, I just wanted us to have our own. And what I found it was that, man, kind of like people want to be in relationships, man, with the people that put us in that place more than they wanted to be in relationships with the people who had suffered from that place. And it was just like, damn, you would rather roll with them than roll with them. They the ones who put us in there. These are people who need our help.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll choose to go and help them raise money and then don't ask them what they doing. Like, because for a conviction integrity unit, so they give us honors for helping them to start 3 conviction integrity units, I want to say. And the thing about it is,
So you helped start 3 of them?
yeah, absolutely. They gave us, you know, saying like, hey, these guys helped us to form this. But my whole thing was in that process when we was helping to form these conviction integrity units was to put a safeguard in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you help form something and it don't do what it's intended to do, especially if it don't do what it's intended to do consistently, then they gotta have checks and balances and they gotta have some outside entity to check it. So I thought like, hey, if you're gonna do that, then we need to have to be able to form that outside entity to check that system for the weights and balances. Because this, we don't want to just create something and just leave it to go wherever. We want to see it created and we want to see the results be fruitful. We want to see people released from prison. We want to see it multiply.
Yeah.
So people wasn't with that, because if that's the case, then you got to challenge. You got to really challenge prosecutors on a local level. You know, because if you catch somebody bold, example, I got a girl named Tamara Washington. She's a woman, excuse me. She incarcerated here around Valley Correctional Facility. I personally put this lady on the phone with our head Wayne County prosecutor, Kim Worthy. And not only did I put her on the phone, I put her on the phone in front of other exonerees, people running for judges, a lot of professional, powerful people. Our head prosecutor, the young lady explained to her that her file was missing. She told her that her file was missing. And that the prosecutor then told her that it was a history of files being destroyed in Wayne County. And when she came in the office, she stopped it. She stopped that from happening. So in her stopping that from happening, she asked, well, when did you get locked up? Tamara was a year later after she ordered the files to stop being destroyed. Well, Tamara had went to court that day, and it had been found that her files had been destroyed. They couldn't find them. Not that they had been destroyed, but they could not find files, her files. So how do you fight an appeal when the court don't have your records? And how do the court fight against you in an appeal when they don't have records for you? See? So now I leave a stinging question. So she puts her on, I put her on the phone, she talks to Kim Worthy. Kim Worthy tell her she got it. She gonna take care of it. I'm feeling good, bro. I hop on a plane and go to Boston. I'm feeling real good. She didn't do anything. She didn't hold to her word. She didn't produce the file to this day. So this lady serving 32 to 50 years in prison. This lady by the name of Tamara Washington, she's serving 32 to 50 years in prison for a crime that she said that she didn't commit. The reason why I don't believe that she committed it, because the person who she was alleged to aided and abetted the armed robbery with beat the case, because they said he was locked up for an unrelated offense at the time. That it happened. So if he was locked up at the time for an unrelated offense, how did the trickle-down effect reach this young lady to be in the Women's Huron Valley serving 32 to 50 years? It's just one of them things. So like, these are the type of questions that, if you talk to your head prosecutor and you thinking you straight, and she done shot you a curveball, and then all the people who see it, don't nobody speak up, and it would be different. I was wrongfully convicted. So how can I speak up? Because I prayed to talk to my prosecutor on the phone. I just happened to be the person who put somebody on the phone with their prosecutor. But the prosecutor got a duty. They got a job. Once you know that this taking place, you got a job, Kim Worthy. Like, y'all mad at Larry Darnell Smith Jr. because I'm just telling y'all, I'm only showing y'all, I'm only giving y'all what it was that I wanted somebody to give me, the type of energy to release me out of a place for a crime I didn't commit. So y'all release me, but what about Tamara? Because look at the evidence, and if y'all lost the files, destroy the files. How's y'all fighting the conviction? It don't seem right. Don't seem right. No, don't seem right, man.
That's crazy, man. I know she's not the only one. You said there's so many others.
Yeah, there's others as well. But see, like I say, Charles Wilson, when I was saying about Charles Wilson, same guy testified against me, testified against him. But like these is my cases, right? But I got this William Wiley case. This is a white guy, weird looking white dude, bro, was locked up for arson. He's my bunkie, bro. Like in the cell, got on my nerves because he went and did his job. He came back, he did his law work, and he was in the cell. And he was getting on my nerves. You hear me? He was getting on my nerves. We grew up together.
Well, man, I appreciate the time, Larry, bro. I know you're a busy man. Is there any like words of wisdom, man, you want to drop on any of the young brothers and young sisters, just people in general that's going to tune in, man, and check out your story, and who potentially may be going down a certain path or may get themselves in a situation like you were in, where they locked up for something they didn't do, man? Any words of wisdom you can drop, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
any resources to share, or?
Well, no, what I'm saying is, when I say I don't know what to tell you, you got a choice. You got an option. Like, you can believe in you. You can believe in somebody else, right? But ultimately, if you believe in you and you take your own decisions, your own choices, and they lead you to a road of prosperity, then you can be like, oh man, attaboy, I done it. But if you take somebody else's road and it don't lead you to prosperity and it get you hitting lumps, then you got to be like, oh. So ultimately, be a leader. Like, and if you want to find some qualities in people to follow, then follow good quality. Find ones that find you to success. Don't do the ones that's going to find you laying on the side of the road, head cracked, bleeding, or something such, incarcerated. Like, these things, that they real. They real. If you don't want to get stripped, search butt naked, no dude looking at you ways that you don't want to be, the ways you ain't never seen yourself, then don't go do it. I don't really know what. Support your local rec center. I think, like, have your young people go to their rec centers, have them play sports, have them enjoying the educational process. Like, whatever it is that could be done to keep the young people up out of the street, whatever can be done to create a type of lifestyle that gives you that versus that. I mean, that's what you want to do. So try education. Try to maneuver and move in accordance with the great you, who you are, and don't be no follower. That's what's gonna crash your car. That's how I do it.